Welcome to Albums Anonymous. This is your weekly radio show where we drop the freshest tracks straight out of the Permanent Records studio, but we also like to talk about what we've been spinning on our own turntables, regardless of what we've been cranking out of the studio. And so today, this week, you've picked the album we've both been listening to, which is...
This is my moment. Father John Misty, Fear Fun.
Fear Fun.
Yep.
Father John Misty, 2012, when this album came out.
Yeah, and actually this album was made right after, recently after the drummer of Fleet Foxes is Father John Misty.
Yeah.
So he quit a band that was blowing up, basically.
Yeah, that's quite a pedigree.
Yeah. To do his own thing. And that was like the most interesting thing about this week, like looking into this album and listening to it, was that like he was with that band for like 4 years, and they just finished Helplessness Blues, I believe, Fleet Foxes. Really great album. But he just really... he started to find his own voice for himself, and he just had to go do his own thing. He just had to, and it said that he like just got in a van and just like piled it with as many mushrooms as possible, enough to make a horse pass out or something like that, and then just went out into like Laurel Canyon. Is that in California somewhere?
Well, that would definitely make sense if you went to Laurel Canyon, because the music on this album is for sure very Laurel Canyon-esque. That like era of like late 60s, early 70s kind of California folk rock.
Where is Laurel Canyon?
It's in LA. It's like
okay.
Like just north of Hollywood, I think.
I see.
Into the hills there. I did a little bit of research into this too, and found the exact same thing, and found that, kind of hilarious that he just did a bunch of psychedelics in his van, like along the California coast.
Yeah.
But yeah, Laurel Canyon, I didn't know that he like kind of was hanging out in that area, but this album is really, heavily influenced by that sort of era and sound, which is excellent. There's some incredible music that came out of that era and that particular kind of geolocation of, whatever that corner of the universe and that time and space. There was a lot of creativity happening, so it's not surprising that if he's having those experiences on mushrooms and like kind of vibing with where he is, that this would be what he ultimately came out with, because it's a really interesting and unique album. I wouldn't say there's anything particularly groundbreaking necessarily about the sound, but like I said, it's heavily influenced, but his voice is very, very much his own. It gives me... I hadn't listened to really very much Father John Misty before you chose this album, and so obviously that's one of the great things about this podcast, is we get kind of exposed to new stuff. But the thing that I kept coming back was like his voice reminded me so much of Andrew Bird, like that vocal style, but mixed in with all these other elements that like that 60s and 70s folk rock feeling was like what he's going for, which is just like an uplifting sort of vibe that the music itself gives you. But if you really listen to the lyrics, I think that's where this album really shines. Is like agreed. The lyrics are very thought provoking,
and they're
throughout
funny too.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
really good. But yeah, can you?
I'm a sucker.
This is looking at that album cover. Sorry if you're only listening on audio, but that album cover, you should look it up if you can't see this, is to say psychedelic would be an understatement.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I mean, it's really good overall. So thank you for bringing me this album.
Yeah. And thanks for listening. And I'm glad you touched on the lyrics. And we have some lyrics from some of our own artists too, that we'll be playing soon. Like from Papa John Wendy is one that you discovered?
Yeah. So synchronicity is a big part of what we do here. And I happen to be discovering a brand new artist that we have signed, I'm happy to say, to the label Permanent Records, Papa John Wendy, who you can argue was deeply influenced by artists such as Father John Misty and many others of the era that Father John Misty was influenced by.
Really?
And so, yeah, I mean, do you want to play something from Papa John Wendy?
I think we should. What should we play from Papa John Wendy?
You surprise me.
How about an Ode to Doe by Papa John?
No. Let's not start with that one. Honestly, I can't remember the names of the other ones.
Don't break what's not broken.
What's the other one?
The Healthy Way to Eat Pizza.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's start with that one.
He tells me to surprise him, and then he.
Well, but actually, on second thought, there's a better order to play these in.
And there is a healthy way to eat pizza, apparently. So let's find out. So this is Papa John Wendy.
Papa John Wendy,
which may or may not be inspired by Father John Misty.
We'll let people kind of. I mean, we can discuss whether or not we feel that it is. I think I've listened to it. I am an advocate for this artist already. So
okay, but
I want to withhold my feelings about this, even though I haven't.
I'm excited. Let's go.
I'm a simple man, I don't ask much. Well, I make meal plans, some say I'm a health nut. Am I health food focused? I think I am, yeah. You'll never grow to get this strong and strapping without dabbing the grease off your pizza with a napkin. Dab the grease off my pizza with a napkin. I dab the grease off my pizza with a napkin. Beautiful. I'm not one to judge. You eat your pizza the way you like, but the grease that pools within the crispy edges of pepperoni is high in cholesterol and could lead to heart problems. So follow my lead if you care about your health. You'll never grow to get this strong and strapping without dabbing the grease off your pizza with a napkin. I dab the grease off my pizza with a napkin. I dab the grease off my pizza with a napkin.
That was Papa John Wendy with The Healthy Way to Eat Pizza. I really enjoyed that. That was the first time I've ever listened to that track. And you nailed it. Great signing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about this artist.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah.
And what makes you excited?
Well, I think they just bring a unique kind of flair. We don't have anybody else on the label yet that really kind of leans into this style of play. But they've got sort of a theme to their tracks that they put out, a theme to their lyrics. And if you'd like, we could just go right into another one. Or
I would like, but we do have an artist that does bring some other elements that maybe are a bit influenced by Father John Misty.
another one. Okay.
And this artist is named Mary Jane Whiskey.
Ah, Mary Jane Whiskey. Okay.
And yeah, let's start things off with "Napped on Someone's Porch" by Mary Jane Whiskey.
Perfect.
Took some drugs and life's a mystery. It's not easy being Mother Jane Whiskey. No, no, no. Ended up on porch that wasn't mine, eating a banana while I lost time. The homeowner said, "Can I help you?" That's when I just knew what I really need to do. I took a nap right then and there in last month's underwear. If you want Mother Jane to get frisky, serve her up some Southern whiskey. She likes to rant about this and that. Still on the porch, eyes open wide. Now it's a man that stands nearby. He doesn't know what to do. Says, "Can I help you?" That's when I just knew what I really need to do. I took a nap right then and there in last month's underwear. Play a weird solo or something. I want to dance. The Democrats are all pussies. Who wants some of this sweet sugar? I'm confused. Where am I? Woo, doggy, that's some good whiskey. That's when I just knew what I really need to do. Have another drink or two. Wow, that bird just flew and pooped on my head. Winners win. I'll show all y'all damn birds.
Wow, that's a live track.
No, I think Mother Jane Whiskey probably just put that in there. If I were to guess.
It's just so unencumbered.
Yeah.
Maybe a little tipsy in the studio too.
I haven't seen her play a show that wasn't just her like fucked up on the street,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
It's like her whole character, huh?
yeah, I did have
Wait, so is it Mary Jane Whiskey or is it Mother Jane Whiskey?
I knew you were going to get me on that. Mother Jane Whiskey. Well, I can't remember the name of the artist. Got me. But, I think what's cool about this album right here, Father John Misty, Fear Fun, is that he's got these, like a couple different, like, styles of track. He's got kind of like the more upbeat, funny ones.
Yeah.
That I would say that one's a little bit like that, a little different style, of course, because you have a female vocalist, but like with like different style to it, and then you kind of have like the other, like also kind of slow and rockin', and kind of more soulful, like the ones that you're playing there. By Papa John Windy. And then he's got like the ballads too.
Yeah.
So it's and it all kind of like merges together into this like beautiful album.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And Mother Jane Whiskey also, just by the way, the vocals reminded me a lot of the female singer from Shovels and Rope.
Really?
Have you ever heard that band?
Shovels and a Rope.
Well, either way, that's what my mind went to there. But I agree with the Fear Fun album. It really, one track after another, the tempo changes drastically. But they all just seamlessly work together. I think it's his voice that kind of just like is the anchor that ties every track together. There was one song in particular that stood out to me. It was called "This Is Sally Hatchet"
Okay.
on that album, and it just because there weren't a whole lot of songs where they used this particular guitar tone, but it was so Beatles-esque, the tone of the guitar and the style of play, because it was instantly recognizable that running it through a Vox guitar amp of some sort, because that tone is just so specific to that piece of equipment, and that's like what the Beatles were like famous for that the amp that they preferred, George Harrison,
And
in particular.
Garden.
Yeah.
Continue.
But that track, just the beginning part of it was just like so Beatles-esque, and the like "This Is Sally Hatchet" was just like very Eleanor Rigsby sort of like had that feeling of like the cadence of the voice and like how the words are coming together. Is it was that one stood out to me in that way, I guess.
For sure.
But
And you mentioned Andrew Bird, and like Andrew Bird has like just such a beautiful falsetto voice, and there's a couple tracks on here where Father John Misty's falsetto are just so nice,
Yeah.
and like
It's a very soothing voice.
Yeah. And it's kind of like gritty at times, but with that beautiful like falsetto too.
It's pretty dry the way he sings, It's not like it's hard to put your finger on it, because it's like it's soulful, but it's almost like he's just singing and talking at the same time, like it's interesting.
Because I read that he wanted it to be like more like conversational sounding. And what I thought was like really interesting was that he was trying to kind of like before he was Father John Misty, which is like kind of like a thing in itself that we could touch on later. He had like Jay Tillman or something was his like solo name. I think his last name is Tillman. And he like suddenly after playing some shows, for years, had the realization that like a lot of his songs were like kind of like depressing and sad. He basically, he realized that he was building this like story about himself, where he idolized a few of these artists when he was younger, that kind of had like more like kind of like sad, depressing lyrics.
Yeah.
And he was trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And he was like building that story in his head, but he realized that wasn't necessarily him.
Yeah.
And that's when he did this album. And that kind of like gave me the chills, because like, I'm going through some shit right now. I'm not going to lie. We were talking about like the ADHD thing.
Yeah.
And, like I just upped my, like, I'm still not like 100% sure that I have full on ADHD. Cause like I went to my doctor recently. Anyways, I'm getting off track, but I'm going through some shit too, and identity crises too, being like a 40-year-old man with like 2 kids, and then like having to work a job that don't really like.
Yeah.
But like for him to just realize that, ditch all that, I'm definitely envious of it. But I think it's also really cool because it's so hard to break through these stories and identities that we build for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that is maybe one of the most important keys to really, it's not even like success is what you're going for. It's just like figuring out who you are and just leaning into that. Cause I think that's like easier said than done.
Because not everybody has the luxury to do that.
Yeah.
But
it's cool that he like realized that he like actually didn't like the just like sadness around the lyrics and wanted to like lean into just the joy and silliness of this weird world that we all live in.
And what he said too, and I'm just remembering this now, is that like, so he'd play these sad songs and then like in between the songs when he's just like talking and being silly and goofy, he would just like make jokes and like just totally like be off the cuff himself and silly and weird. And that's what, and the audience would like wake up from like looking at their phones and like start paying attention to him, and be like really engaged. And he was like, that's it. Like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
And like, that shit just gives me chills,
that's
bro.
when people pay attention, when you're being yourself.
And so like, and I, having children, I read stories like Where Oliver Fits, about a puzzle piece that's trying to find his puzzle. And I'm like Oliver. I'm still trying to find it. And I'm working on it. And you know what? It does get harder as you get older. But, I'm still working on it. I think this helps. We're kind of finding our voice here. But I'm realizing too, like, maybe in my head, I'm thinking that it's harder to like be me than it is. Maybe I just be me, just start doing that more and more and more and more, and good shit will happen.
Yeah.
So, because I can't like full on be myself at work, and like I spend a lot of time at work, right? Like so many of us are just like playing a character because like, a lot of these people are stupid and I want to rip on them. The CEO of my last company, that guy is a total tool, and he just deserved to be made fun of so much. But if you run your mouth constantly, it's not going to take much to get you fired. So
for sure,
it's a balancing act. But yeah, I'm working on finding my way. With that being said, would you like to play another Papa John Wendy?
Yeah, I think so. I personally, I think Papa John Wendy is definitely leaning into his own passions in life, what he feels, what he feels passionate about, and I think that that's something to be celebrated. It's one of the things that really, really drew me to this artist in the first place. And again, like listening all week to this album by Father John Misty, I think is no coincidence that I happened to kind of run into Papa John Wendy and discover his music. Well, there's algorithms these days, and like
it's easy to find out.
Yeah.
And did you go to Papa John's this week?
I did not go to Papa John's this week, but I did go to Costco, and I definitely had 2 full-on like big slices of pepperoni pizza.
Did you dab the grease?
Of course.
I'm
watching my weight.
You dab. do you really dab the grease?
Of course I did. You have to. Do you not dab the grease off your pizza?
It is a lot of grease,
bro.
But I do not.
You don't? You really should.
I just clog the pipes.
Man. I would strongly encourage you to remember the words from Papa John Wendy, Next time you are staring down the barrel of that delicious but toxic sludge that is sitting on top of the pizza at Costco, but that's the healthy way to eat pizza.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that, but I'm learning. Okay.
Anyway, so I can't remember the name.
An ode to dough.
No, the other one.
Don't break what's not broken.
Yes, that one. Let's do that.
Okay. So Papa John Windy. Let's
Papa
get
John
that
Windy.
straight. Don't break what's not broken. Here we go.
Consider this a call to action. It's impeding on my satisfaction. The discussion of what to order should be straightforward. Your alternate suggestions make me tired and tortured. I get that you wanna be adventurous with your mushrooms, olives, cream sauce, that's generous. But you're making a mistake by overthinking. The most common is most common for a reason. Don't break what's not broken. Pepperoni is all we want. Should go without saying. Was not broken. If exotics are what you want, I'd entertain Hawaiian. Perfection's been achieved. It's a simple recipe, just a 4-ingredient masterpiece: dough, cheese, sauce, and pepperoni. Don't break what's not broken. Pepperoni is all we want. Should go without saying. Don't break what's not broken. If exotics are what you want, I'd entertain Hawaiian.
Love it. It's Papa John
John Windy.
Papa John
Papa
Windy.
John Windy.
You know what I love about that? It's like the age-old struggle of you're both tired in a couple, and you're talking about what to eat, what to order, and one person here, presumably Papa John Windy, is saying, "Let's not break what's broken. We like pepperoni. It's good." And then the other person's trying to branch out and be exotic.
Try something new.
Try something new.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is that? Like, I struggle with that sometimes too, where I'm just like, yeah, I just want to have the thing that I want.
Yeah.
Because I know it's good.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I really resonate with this because if somebody says like, let's order pizza, my brain is instantly picturing a pepperoni pizza. And so if people, maybe it's not just your partner in the room, maybe you're, hanging out late with some friends or whatever. Invariably, there's always somebody who starts saying, well, what if we tried this, like, they've got this special or something, or there's like this one with like,
Goat cheese.
Goat cheese and in-season mushrooms and like all that stuff, which is great. That's fine. That's fine. But that's not really pizza. That's like, putting things into the shape of a pizza.
Wow. I mean, there are some pretty good like pizza specials.
I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm not saying that
Can I
I'm
finish?
just saying, yeah.
I would side with you depending on the pizza restaurant. Because some pizza restaurants, like Pizzicato in Portland, they do a really good job with their specials. They do most of the time. Every like special I've tried from there, I was just like, damn, that does work, and damn, that is good. But like some of the other pizza restaurants, like you know the pepperoni is good.
Yeah.
Like, let's not push it.
Yeah.
Is kind of like my feeling. So I kind of, it depends on the place for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Like how many napkins do you use per slice of
It
Costco?
depends on how greasy we're talking.
A Costco slice.
A general Costco slice, typically, I don't know, 4 or 5 napkins.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of grease on those.
That's a lot of
There's a lot of
napkins.
grease on those.
So you got the paper plate, the foil, and 4 to 5 napkins.
Well, dude, when I set my pizza, I have to go back for napkins. Like I don't have enough hands to get all, both slices of pizza that I'm having. And, nowadays I'm carrying a hot dog and another slice of pizza for my kids and their drinks and all that. So I have to go back for napkins. I just full on I'm pulling 15 to 20 out of the bottom of those things.
It looks like the rope exercise at the gym when you're doing that.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Well, I
But
haven't been
it's-
to gym for a while.
But
That's a lot of napkins, man.
go to the gym before you go get Costco pizza is what I would suggest.
Yeah. Yeah.
For anybody out there,
and
that's my health input.
and
And dab the grease off the pizza.
I have a honest question for you. When you eat a slice of Costco pepperoni pizza, like how long does it take before like the farts kick in? Like, do you know the science on that?
I don't know the science on that. It's interesting. I don't have a great answer for you for that, but it's an interesting thing that you bring that up because I did at that same last time I went to Costco and had pizza. I also picked up 2 giant jars because they come in a package of 2 of psyllium. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's essentially dietary fiber. It's just like powder, but it's like some sort of husk or something. It's like a natural
Corn.
thing. No, it's not corn. Something else. Anyways, it's called psyllium, and it's basically what Benefiber is, or Metamucil. But like, I was listening to this podcast from this like gut health doctor, and she was like, I take psyllium powder in just like in my coffee every day, just to get that added fiber because it's just really good for your gut. And so me and Bree have just been talking. We should just start doing that just to make sure we're getting extra fiber into our diet. We eat pretty well for the most part. I mean, I was just talking about how I dab the grease off my pizza, so you know that I'm a healthy eater. But aside from that, like giving that little extra boost. So for the last 3 days, I've been taking that supplement. I just put it in a big glass of water, stir it up, and just guzzle it down. I have been having some insane gas since I have been taking that. Like the farts that I have been ripping have been sustained. Like each one has, I mean, I'm not joking, like somewhere between 4 and 6 seconds of like just pure air being pushed through my butthole, and it's and it's making the like flapping timbre that's like synonymous with like, you know, the buzzing that you can get by just like making your lips move, you know, that kind of thing.
Flapping timbre. I wish I had a sound effect for that.
Well, here, should we do a little ASMR on this podcast here?
No.
Anyways, so in conclusion, I don't have an answer for you about the pizza to fart like time elapsed. But the Costco Kirkland brand psyllium fiber supplement will give you severe gas, way worse than any Costco pizza that you can have. Oh. At least that's how my body is responding to it. It might just be way too much fiber all at once. I don't know.
Yeah, I've also been having some gas issues, and I think partly it's because of the stress.
We just lost all of our young, like any audience under the age of 34, I think.
Yeah, fuck these farty old men. These farty old men at whack.
But please go on. Please go on. I do want to hear.
These guys fart a lot.
I want to hear. Yeah.
Low key. Okay. So I'm not so excited about trying psyllium if it's going to add to that. But is that healthy if that's making you like machine gun fart like that? Like farting Machine Gun Kelly.
I mean, in theory, it's healthy. I don't know. I think there could be just that my body is reacting to like maybe an influx of fiber all at once. And I don't know. I'm going to give it a little more time. I'm going to keep trying it and just see if my body just adjusts to it.
Maybe it's the Costco pizza cocktail that you're mixing with it.
That could have some. Yeah, now that you say that, it's possible that maybe having, because one slice of Costco pizza, let's be honest, is 2 on its own.
It's true.
So really, when I got 2 slices, I was eating 4 slices, and yeah, that has an effect on your body also. So, hence the fiber supplement.
Going back to Father John Misty. This has nothing to do with farts. But what I just remembered about this album, Fear Fun by Father John Misty, is that he actually started writing this album as a novel, as a story.
Oh, really?
And
so it's like a character.
Well,
or is that,
if you look in the inside of this, in the inline notes.
It's just a flag.
No, can you take where the vinyl is? Can you take the inline notes out of there?
Oh.
This is actually my wife's album, Liz. Shout out to Liz for good taste in music. When we met.
This is a lot of paper.
Yeah, because it's a novel. So read that first.
Whoa.
The first part of it.
Well, I don't know where to start.
Okay, let me show you where to start. Can you hand it to me? Yeah, start at the top. You read that first.
Mostly Hypothetical Mountains, Part 1, Bedbug Mountain Introduction. To whom it may concern. This is 41092. To whom it may concern. Included is my proposal. Sorry, I'm not speaking into the mic. Included is my proposal for the hypothetical video game Bedbug Mountain. The following is a broad treatment, more characters, and a tighter wrap-up for the restaurant sequence are in production as of this date. The following synopsis is written in the voice of the game's protagonist, a drug-addled naturalist named Blank. I eagerly await any feedback you may have and am always available to field any technical queries.
It's awesome, right? Like, he's he came up with this video game idea called Bed Bug Mountain. He's writing a novel about it, and then that sparked this album. Like, how freaking cool is that? It's awesome.
Well, okay. Yeah, there's a lot here.
There's a lot. See, this is why you need to buy the albums.
Yeah.
Like, how cool are albums?
Yeah, you don't get this just downloading this on your BitTorrents, kids. Cool. That's what they're doing. That they're still in a Napster nowadays, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this is cool. You would never see any of this kind of stuff. You never know this, like, the backstory. Like, why would you
Yeah.
if you don't get this physical sort of artifact that comes out of this, which is also interesting because one of his tracks on this album, he is wrestling. You can, I think it's Now I'm Learning to Love the War, if I remember right, the 10th track on the album, where he's like literally wrestling with the morality of just printing plastic records as an artist. What am I leaving the future generations? And like, it's like this weird kind of dichotomy that he has over like the want to release music and the want to release this physical piece of music. But also it's like, I think the lyrics are something like, let's not kid ourselves or something like that about what it is that we're actually doing by like just trashing the planet without, and he's like wrestling with this idea of like, I'm just putting this stuff out there and stuff that won't decompose or whatever,
Yeah.
And, it's like, I don't think he's like literally, I think there's more to it. It's not just like literally like an extreme environmentalist necessarily. It's just like, I can't, release anything that's going to like cause harm to the plant. But it's like, I think it's more just like a general thought on like, our doom, our self-imposed doom as human beings, and like that we just are fully willing to do that. And
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, he's honoring his own hypocrisy.
Yeah. That's a
owning
good
it.
way to put it. Yeah.
Which I totally get. 'Cause I mean, it's something, and by the way, like, our guest tonight is Mike Pence's fly. I mean, I don't know if you could see that on the lamp.
I don't.
The camera, probably not, but
Probably not.
You've probably
No, I
seen
don't
it buzzing around.
Well,
But man, these
might be able to see that if you look really closely.
these organ flies are giant.
Yeah, they are really big.
Like, I'm used to like little puny Southern California flies, but like giant organ flies. But I will say the mosquitoes here are like idiots. Like, the Southern California mosquitoes are like aggressive, and like if you're out there, like they're gonna get you. Like Darwinism has taken course. The ones up here, they're dumb, and you can get them before they try to even get you.
Dude, they'll just bounce right off of your skin.
Yeah,
They'll like literally run into you, and you're just like, what the hell was that?
idiot mosquitoes here.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. They do seem to like have some sort of evolutionary defect where they can't quite like get to where they need to get the food that they need.
Well, they don't need to like compete as much, I don't think. There's water here. There's shit
Yeah.
to eat. Like the ones in Southern California are like, fuck you, Gary. I'm gonna get that blood first.
Yeah,
Like,
that's actually a good point. There is water here.
Darwinism.
I don't know if I told you this or not, but I recently put in a pond in my backyard.
Yeah, you told me about the
I
pond.
know. I'm excited about
Of
the
course
pond.
you did.
But what I didn't really think through, and I haven't admitted this to Brie yet because I've been like explaining it away through like the verbiage of building an ecosystem in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because in theory, the dragonflies and the frogs that will come also will like balance everything out. But standing water without movement is a breeding ground for mosquito larvae.
Yeah.
And you can just look into the pond at this point, and they're just like they're full. It's full of mosquito larvae. And so I didn't think that part through when I put that pond in there. So Bree's gonna be mad at me in a couple weeks, I think.
But lucky for you, none of our wives listen to this podcast. Or at least so they say.
Well, I did look it up though, and there's ways you can kind of, there's things you can do about it.
This is suddenly remind me of the Simpsons episode where they get like, I forget what they get, like frogs or something, and then they have to like bring in like mongooses, and they just keep on like having to bring in other animals to kill those invasive animals.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. So maybe just get some frogs.
Well, that is the plan. That is.
Hey, Lucy.
There's a place that sells tadpoles. What's up, Luce? Yeah, I know. It's a whole maze of cords and cables that we have going on in the studio.
Uh-oh. The goose is loose. Well, we've talked about some Costco tonight, and Mother Jane Whiskey has a track called Cleavage and Hot Dogs.
Oh, perfect. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Mother Jane Whiskey here, cleavage and hot dogs. Cleavage and hot dogs. Looked into his eyes and saw the stars. We were at Costco, drove here in our cars, and the world is a particular place full of magic that we can't waste. And the soda is good, I had a refill. Cleavage and hot dogs, if you will. Cleavage and hot dogs. Cleavage and hot dogs. The universe is so mysterious. Rainbow unicorns with our trucks, going down Rainbow Road for a while. I just see his beautiful smile and his beautiful chipped tooth. He kinda smells like onions, but that's the truth. The relish on my dog, mustard on the side. Get mo soda, we're gonna have a good night. Cleavage and hot dogs. Ba-da-ba-da, cleavage and hot dogs. I think this man is really special. I'll give him a hand job in his truck. If he keeps his truck real clean, then we'll get his willy tugged, 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 tugged. Cleavage and hot dogs. Ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da. Cleavage and hot dogs. A real nice man with a plan. I think he's nice. We met on Craigslist in the Missed Connections place. Couldn't remember if I knew his face or not. We maybe seen each other at the grocery store in town. You know the one by Frank's. Cleavage and hot dogs. Cleavage, cleavage, cleavage and hot dogs.
Wow. It's almost James Bond-esque.
Yeah, Mother Jane Whiskey has range.
Yeah, seriously. That one was way different from the other one. I mean, that was sophisticated.
Yeah. I mean, Mother Jane whiskey, depending on the drug she's on, gets or the drink she's drank, gets in these moods.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, she's got range for sure. But so does Papa John
Windy.
Great name.
Papa John Windy. Yeah. He's passion. He has passion and he leans into who he is. And that's what I love about him. And
Right.
that's what, you know, part of what inspired him by Father John Misty, who we're centering this episode around. But
Right.
yeah, I think we could play one more from Papa John Windy if you'd like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do it.
An ode to dough.
An ode to dough.
So much can go wrong throughout the process between the yeast rise, kneading, and tosses. The dough is the most important component, which is why of this process I'm a proponent. You gotta plan ahead, at least a day in advance. Care, love, and time, it's a delicate balance. The list of ingredients is indeed quite short. To get the desired outcome is practically a sport. You gotta learn to make your own poolish. If not, man, I think you're foolish. Toss those rapid rise packets in the trash. Equal parts water to flour plus yeast just a dash. Your dough is flat and tough and dense. With poolish the difference is immense. You'll be chasing that perfect airy consistency. The poolish process requires a little persistency. You gotta learn to make your own poolish. If not, man, I think you're foolish. Toss those rapid rise packets in the trash. Equal parts water to flour plus yeast just a dash. Poolish, it's not just a gesture. Poolish, achieve the perfect texture. Poolish, the perfect dough. Poolish, an ode to pizza dough. Poolish, an ode to pizza dough. Poolish dough. Poolish dough.
I really want to eat a pizza right now.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Poolish?
Poolish.
What's
are you
that?
are you not familiar?
No.
Have you ever made your own pizza dough?
Yeah.
So poolish is a process that it's how they make proper Neapolitan, or I think that's what they call it, Neapolitan
Yeah.
pizza dough. But it's like it takes like 12 to 24 hours to do the whole process. So you really, if you're gonna have pizza tomorrow, you got to start today. And it's very simple. It's equal parts. It's like 100% split consistency between or split measurements between the amount of water and amount of flour. So it's exactly it. So it's a very, very loose dough.
Wait a minute.
And then just a tiny bit of yeast, and you let it rise for a long time, like literally like a whole day, and it will just puff up to this like really, really, really airy consistency, and then you make the dough from that.
Wait, are you Papa John Windy?
I am not Papa John Windy.
I mean,
but
you can't sing like this.
No, I can't.
No offense,
but that's why I'm on the business side of this.
But you try to find artists that reflect your values.
Well, I think we're drawn to what we know.
Yeah, that's true. This does remind me a little bit of Lamb of God, who's so passionate about fish.
Yeah. Yes.
They have a lot of fish themed songs that are like death metal-y.
Very different vibe.
Yeah. I mean, this show will make you hungry. I mean, we've talked about pizza. We've talked about making pizza. We've talked about hot dogs. We've talked about, cleavage. But yeah, I mean,
psyllium fiber.
That doesn't make me too hungry. But yeah, that was a good track. Really loved the phrasing of the vocals, like how that melody was structured.
Yeah,
like really good,
really pretty.
Yeah, really pretty arrangement and music. So yeah, thanks for sharing an ode to dough by Papa John Windy. Beautiful, beautiful. And I do have another track from Mother Jane Whiskey.
You keep talking Mary Jane, which is also making me hungry, by the way.
Right. But also want to say about Father John Misty, who, like, by the way, the name is like, he just made up, like, he just wanted to make up something that was kind of fun and like, just kind of, it's just a bullshit name. Mm-hmm. The band name, Father John Misty, it's just like a bullshit name. He just wanted something that kind of fit the
no particular meaning behind it. It's just what he landed on. Yeah.
Right. But the other thing I thought was interesting was I found, because like I'm a big Fleet Foxes fan, so
I also love Fleet Foxes.
Yeah.
So when I found that out that he originally came from Fleet Foxes, I was like, wow, that's impressive. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I've seen that band live. They're great. It was post Father John Misty, but what I found online was interesting. They like when he broke up with the band, he sent like an email, but it was like in a letter form. And it was like really, like I was reading it while my daughter was at ballet tonight, and it's pretty heartfelt. Like, and I want to read some of it, just like, because it's like a big decision, right? He's in this like indie band that Fleet Foxes that's blowing up.
Yeah, very
touring,
successful indie band. Yeah.
And just like kicking ass. And, this is just what he feels as the drummer of that band in that moment, like what his like soul journey is or his destiny. It probably wasn't an easy decision, but like in 2012, this is about when he wrote this. I realize this is sort of a bizarre time, seeing as we're all on tour together right now and very well may all be in the same room as you read this. But on this last break home, I had a pretty potent moment of clarity wherein I realized that I need to resign from the band. This is long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to go a few paragraphs. This may come off as a touch dramatic and silly, given that we're a few weeks away from being done with this record cycle anyway. However, in my mind, it's a big decision to extract myself emotionally, creatively, etc. Again, I don't want to seem presumptuous that I think this is some kind of big deal. I know people are looking forward as opposed to wringing hands over the band right now. but it's important to me that I'll let you all know as part of a larger shift in perspective. I've been a real son of a bitch to you guys on more than a few occasions, and I'm sorry you had to all bear the brunt of my self-loathing and unhappiness for so long and with such regularity. That said, I'm proud to have been a part of such a great band. And he goes on, you know, basically talking about what we were talking about earlier, where like he's like kind of finding his own voice, you know, and like kind of like basically discovering like who he is, you know what I mean, through his music, and that he just like had to like break off and pursue that. And I'm paraphrasing, but like it's actually like really nice to read such a like heartfelt letter from such a big moment from somebody that's like really talented lyrically and like who's a great writer.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, like I used to write a lot better than what I do now at work, which is like, ChatGPT, do it for me. I can't write. And I don't know why I'm using that voice. But like, that's like go, just ChatGPT, you do it. Is how I've been writing lately. And so to remember like what it is to actually like take the time to like think and craft every single word to convey exactly what you feel and mean. It's just some beautiful shit, man.
Yeah.
So like I appreciate that. Like I don't know how they got that email or how it came out, but like I just appreciate like the words he used in that, you know.
Well, it definitely makes me, I mean, I haven't read that, but just based on the passages that you just read, it makes me genuinely wonder like what were some of the things that he did, you know, or like
Sure.
like, you know, a band on tour, there's bound to be some crazy shit that goes wrong.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like there's going to be moments of extreme tension and there's going to be moments of people not being their best, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
In close quarters with people that you're very close with and all that. But yeah, for him to like recognize that, and he mentioned self-loathing, which is, you know, I can imagine if that's genuinely how he was feeling, you know, you know, even if it was just throughout moments of when he was at that point in his life, you know, I can understand where he was like in a place where he was just like, I need to find myself.
Yeah, totally.
And I have this urge that I need to like go do what I need to do musically and lyrically, you know, even though it's clear that he like also recognizes how great this opportunity is right now where he is with that band, because Fleet Foxes, I mean, just from a creative standpoint and lyrically and musically, that band is just like very, very forward in how they were thinking about rounds and melodies and harmony. The vocals style of what they were doing was like particularly, I would say, groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But at that time, like that would be a really, I would have a hard time imagining just like walking away from a band like that.
I know.
Especially at that time. Like,
I know. But that's the thing like about musicians, man. You know, it's like herding cats. Like it's one of the reasons why it's so hard for bands to make it is it's hard to keep bands together, because it's just like, you know, you start playing music as kids in a lot of cases, like I did with some of my friends, and then, you know, life starts happening, and, you know, for you to like the band has to like grow and change and make it through all of life's changes and stuff. And, you know, that's where things might just split off. So it's like from the outside, you know, people think like, oh man, I mean, you're like quitting being a rock star basically, you know, and he was taking a major risk going out on his own.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Big time.
but like, he didn't care about that. He just wanted to do his thing. But like from an outside perspective, it may seem like foolish, but it's not, it's just like what people need to do sometimes. But that brings me to some thoughts by actually that's the name of the track, by Mother Jane Whiskey. And as mentioned, she
Thoughts is the name of the track?
yeah
Okay.
she's very experimental, because I think she experiments with probably some weird drugs. It just sounds like it in her music.
Yeah. Not uncommon with musicians also.
Yeah, she's a live wire, but yeah, I mean, it would be a fun exercise to see like what kind of drugs you thought she was on after listening to this one.
So it's kind of a guessing game too.
Let's just play the track and see what happens.
Yeah.
The moon is just a thumbnail scratching at the back of the sky. I've got pockets full of gravity, but I'm still drifting toward the ceiling. If you listen to the carpet long enough, it starts to whisper in A minor. Life is a revolving door that someone glued shut with Sunday mornings. I'm not breathing, I'm just letting the room take turns with my lungs. Oh, Mother Jane is reading the braille on the back of a moth's wing. The universe is a loose tooth and I'm the string tied to the doorknob. Don't look at the shadows, they're just the parts of us that got bored of being light. We're all just kites made of lead, praying for a horizontal hurricane. Time is a vertical line, but I'm walking it like a tightrope made of hair. Did you know the color blue tastes like the sound of a telephone ringing in an empty house? Every heartbeat is just a tiny hammer trying to break out of a meat locker. The sidewalk is a diary that everyone's trying to erase with their shoes. I'm not lost, I've just finally reached the edge of the map where the ink ran out. Past the mercury, honey, the stars are looking a bit thirsty tonight. The mirror is a liar, but at least it's a familiar one. I'm stitching my shadow to my heel so it doesn't wander off into the radiator. If the world is a stage, why is the audience made of cardboard and static? Yesterday is a bruise that's trying to become a sunset. I've got a jar full of sighs and a heart that works like a broken vending machine. Existence is just a fancy word for waiting for the paint to stop screaming. Don't step on the cracks, that's where the forgotten birthdays live. I'm as hollow as a flute, but the wind doesn't know the tune. Flip the record, the silence is getting a bit scratchy. The floorboards are breathing in sync with the refrigerator. It's all just a dream someone had about a bowl of soup. Good night, Mother Jane. The light is too loud. Turn down the sun just a little.
Well, that chick is crazy.
Damn. That is some very stream of consciousness sort of lyrical journey there.
Have you ever heard anything like that?
Gautier?
Gautier.
Does it not remind you a little bit?
It does remind me a little bit of Gautier. You fucking nailed it, dude.
Well, especially that bass, the bass line in particular is just straight. I mean, that is almost identical to what's that song?
The Gautier one.
The main one, yeah.
Cut me off.
Like you got nothing.
We should do that karaoke.
Like a stranger and it feels so rough.
Boom, 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 You're right. Damn. Okay, go to it, dude. You fucking nailed that. I mean, holy shit.
The
wow.
vocals were not quite the same as Gautier, and
That's true.
and I mean, I'm kind of astounded by this particular artist because the last song we heard by her was quite sophisticated. That one sounded like she was in a pit. And
I'm telling you, it just depends on what drug she's on.
yeah, well, you asked me to guess. If I had to guess, I would say she's taken way, way, way too much LSD.
Okay.
That's my best guess at the moment.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. Yeah, she's got, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good voice on that track, but it's like kind of like Muppet-like.
I mean, there were some interesting vocal harmonies happening along with it, but it's Muppet-like is a good way to put it. It definitely sounds like that could be a Muppet voice straight out of Jim Henson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite track on the Fear Fund by Father John Misty? It was, you mentioned something before about the guitars. Was that your favorite track? Or?
This is Sally Hatchet was the one that like stood out to me most. I think for partially just because I don't know. I think in general I don't listen to lyrics as closely as a lot of people do, and from what I've kind of gathered about other people's listening habits and stuff.
Yeah.
I tend to like really listen closely to the instrumentation, like the tone, and like I like to kind of figure out like what equipment do I think they're using here and stuff like that. So like there are certain songs that had like a honky tonk piano style going on in the background, but like only one or two, and like so like. When he recorded this, he must have had a pretty robust studio with a lot of different things to be able to like pull this together.
For sure.
But favorite track,
You can think about it.
I don't know. I mean, the very last one, Every Man Needs a Companion, is pretty like, I liked that one a lot.
Every man needs a companion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it's simple, but it's just there's just a lot of truth in it, and it's just you really get the feeling. I don't know, it's an uplifting song. I thought it was an excellent track to close out the album, but there were a few songs that really stood out to me, and that was one of them. This is Sally Hatchet was another one, but
one of my favorites is I'm just like itching to tell you this, but I'm writing a novel, which I would assume is because he was actually writing a novel.
Oh,
get the album right, because you could see it in the inline notes, but it's the one that goes, it's kind of honky tonk. I ran down the road, pants down to my knees, screaming, please come help me, this Canadian shaman gave me a little too much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm writing a novel.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good.
Never been done before.
That's an excellent. There were some really good lyrics in that one. Canadian shaman gave a little too much to me. It's just
exactly.
like paints such a great picture about just like it's just weird, but like, you know where he is, you know what he's doing,
For sure.
you know, and like,
Yeah, I love that one. And another one is like where like I forget the name of it, but like there's a line about punch me in the face and call me Nancy or something.
oh yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, lyrically, I think that's why I listened to it 3 times.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. Yeah.
And like, I'd need to like hear him again to even remember which song is which for a lot of these. But it's, yeah, like I knew even the first time through that like the lyrics you got to listen closely to like really, really appreciate this album.
Exactly.
So yeah, highly recommend listening closely to it. Like,
and it grows on
really
you too.
Yeah.
It's one of those that like, it's got like such a vibe to it where you're just like, okay, yeah. I mean, the movie,
And it really is it's an uplifting vibe. Like it's really not like there's not there are some tracks that like have a slightly melancholy feel to them, but even then it's like almost in jest. Like it's just a really enjoyable listen.
It's uplifting with a touch of sadness, but also like his like kind of like cynical humor, which is funny, which I could relate to.
Yeah.
I do have a track from Algorithm.
Oh, we haven't heard from Al Gore in a while.
And this one's it's quite the take. So let's do this one.
Is there anything going on in the world that we should provide context for? Or
I think it's pretty straightforward.
okay.
Yeah, but it is stuff that's going on in the world. And I don't really have much else after this.
Did you hear we're at war?
Yeah, and this track is called, well, you'll see.
Okay.
Algorithm.
is so sick. Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna play that over
Nice.
tomorrow. that was sick as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, algorithm, man.
What is it about though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. What do you think that's about?
I think there's something political there. Algorithm, though, is known for their political commentary, so that's not surprising. A little abstract, though.
What's abstract about it?
Well, it kept saying Trump is in the Epstein files, but I'm pretty sure Trump has denied that. So, so that's
yeah. I mean, if he said he's not in it, he's not in it.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a trustworthy man, isn't he?
We're putting this on Truth later, right?
I mean, he invented the truth. Like
I mean, Al Gore invented the internet. He invented the truth.
Yeah.
And he invents the truth daily, which is pretty cool.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. So yeah, what are they trying to get at with like saying they're at war and then the Epstein files? What do you think?
I think it's specifically meant to be open to interpretation.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just end this with a sick beat and we'll fade it out.
Fuck yeah.
Say
a bye.
Thanks for listening to Albums Anonymous.
This has been Albums Anonymous.
Permanent Records.
That's Ryan. That's Roy.
My boy. I was gonna get
All right,
there.
okay. I should have given you a chance.
And we got that pop-up record shop.
Yeah, pop-up, our first official pop-up record shop at Level 2, Multnomah Village, April 29th, Wednesday.
Get beer, bring your records, swap, get dirty, have a great time.
Yeah, right there.
Pop-up co-op.
Pop-up, co-op, vinyl swap, permanent records, temporary record shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
fuck yeah.
bye.
Bye.